Everybody, welcome back to the show. So, I found this article here on comicbookmovie.com, and it says on the screen here, it says Star Wars, Lucasfilm, rumored to be developing a series set in the Knights of the Republic era. Now, normally I would be excited about this, but unfortunately, with the brand being complete crap now these days, since Disney War 7's been pretty much shit, but been a couple of good things come out of it, like the Fallen Order games are great. Uh, I like The Mandalorian for the most part. First two seasons are pretty good. Sucker was okay. Kenobi was kind of a mess. I don't really care for Andor guy. Just boring ass character. There's been a couple of good things come out of this hero, but overall, the main reasons I don't want this to happen, main reason I don't trust Dave Filoni with this property. He's like, people talk like he's next door. He's like a new George Lucas. Like, there's only one George Lucas. George Lucas. And number two, Kennedy is still the president of Lucasfilm, which means she's still gonna have her little greedy hands in wherever decisions are being made. And she has no idea what she's doing with this property. I mean, the fact that we haven't had a Star Wars film on the silver screen in what, 6, 7 years now? The last one was 2019. It's 2025. That's like 2019 was the last Disney Wars film. Yeah, it's almost 7 years. Just think about how much money they lost in all that time. Because Kennedy can't get her crap together. She has no idea what she's doing. And it's not just Star Wars. Like the last Indiana Jones film bombed at the box office. Willow isn't even on Disney Plus anymore because it failed. Like Lucasfilm isn't just Star Wars. There's Indiana Jones and Willow, a whole bunch of other stuff under Lucasfilm that Kennedy has failed to manage. Because she's just so good at her job, right, guys? Full of meatbags that try to defend her. Nothing to defend. She's terrible at her job. Never a good producer at one point, but she can't make decisions. Well, just think of all of the movies that have been announced and canceled. Now there's supposedly a Star Wars Squadron film in development. Like, once I see a trailer and the cast confirmed, and it's actually released in theaters, then maybe I'll believe that. But until it happens, I'm not believing anything that Lucasfilm puts out anymore. As far as the Old Republic, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. I'm a massive fan of the expanding universe. That's my era of Star Wars, always will be. Leave the Old Republic alone. There would have been a time where it would have been like, okay, let's go hundreds of thousands of years into the past and start fresh. But given what Star Wars is now, outside of the games have been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, I don't think Outlaws did the numbers that should have done because people are too busy crying online about everything. That's Star Wars fans for you. Ridiculous. Because I would have wanted to see more small stories like the one from Outlaws, the other characters from different eras, like the Old Republic. Because, like I tell you this right now, if Kennedy has her way, Revan will be a woman, not a man. Well, you have the option in the game to decide what gender you want the character to be. But canon-wise, Revan is a man. So I guarantee you that's the first thing she'll do is make Revan a chick. And make all the dudes idiots like in Disney Wars. Because I listened to an interview from that crazy broad. Talking about we're moving away from the Skywalker saga. I'm like, that's what Star Wars is, you dumb broad. And like, to move away from the Skywalker saga with Disney War 7. Because you don't even see Luke to the end of the damn movie. He kills Han Solo, kills Luke in the second film, your first one he actually appears in, and don't even completely destroyed his character from beginning to end. I don't even recognize that character in that film because she hired some dummy with a big head, big round head. Clearly doesn't understand the Star Wars universe. Not just destroyed Luke, but destroyed like Star Wars lore in that one film. And Jar Jar Abrams comes back and makes it worse by bringing back Palpatine with no explanation. Because he's such a major fan, right, guys? So, given that, and then since then we haven't had a single Star Wars film on the big screen. The next one I'm guessing is going to be the Mandalorian film, which is probably going to suck because that character should not be put on film. You can't put a television-based character all of a sudden on the big screen and think it's going to work, especially when one who wears a mask and barely talks. And then he walks around with a creature that doesn't talk at all. It's never going to work. And again, their last show, Acolyte or whatever, failed. Canceled out the one season. I only watched 2 episodes because I just couldn't take it anymore, but it failed. So I'm like, if they couldn't even get something in the High Republic or whatever that is, there ain't no way they're going to do Knights of Old Republic justice. There's no way. There's no way. It's not happening. And they couldn't get Thrawn right, for Christ's sake. Thrawn is the one character that's launched the expanded universe back in the day. They couldn't get him right. Like at first I was so kind of excited. I'm like, oh shit, it's Thrawn. But then I had to think about it, I'm like, wait a second. That's not what Thrawn would actually do. It's like they made a parody of the character and just slapped the name Thrawn on him. And I didn't recognize the character. I'm like, it's not Thrawn. It looks like Thrawn, but his character and mannerisms are all wrong. He was kind of a bumbling idiot when I really think about it, which is kind of insulting to the original Thrawn trilogy from the 90s in the expanding universe. Now, I get that it's been a long time since Thrawn's been featured, so some things would change for the most part, but Thrawn's ideals and his beliefs would not be different. He didn't use any art to decipher his enemy's weaknesses, which is what he's known for in the books, in the comics. So they couldn't get Thrawn right. I don't trust Filoni or anybody at Lucasfilm currently to adapt Old Republic properly, especially Revan. Revan is like a fan favorite of a lot of people, including myself. And they freak up Revan. Like I still have Old Republic games on my Xbox, so I'm like, I can play KOTOR anytime I want. But like, yeah, don't leave it alone, Lucasfilm. These idiots at this company have no idea what they're doing. Like, don't make shit worse. Just spare the rest of us fans, whoever's left, the misery and the disappointment of having to do another shitty TV series. Because there's one or two things that could happen, right? Let's say this actually happens, and then make it not a series, but like a trilogy, and they hire Roundhead Johnson to do it. It's gonna be shit. I'll tell you that right now, because that idiot has no idea what Star Wars is. I don't know why he was hired, but it all falls down to Kennedy, the terrible president of Lucasfilm. Maybe she was a good producer at one point, but she doesn't know jack shit about being a president. It's terrible. Her job. Terrible. All this has happened under her authority. Indiana Jones bombed. Willow is not on Disney Plus anymore because it bombed. It's terrible. They did to Willow what they did to Luke Skywalker in Disney Wars. Same exact thing. We made him to a bumbling old idiot. And they had friggin' Warwick Davis returning in their main role. They still couldn't get it right. Good grief. But they can't get Willow right. How in the world are they going to adapt Revan properly? Because Can't be done. Or if you're like, oh, I want to see Star Killer and Kyle Guitar, I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. They can't get thrown right. There's no way they're going to do those characters justice. Kyle Guitar just needs to be left alone. Star Killer and just stay where he is in portion of his games. You want to remake the games with Sam Witwer for modern consoles? I'm all down for it. Want to remake Jedi Knight 2, Kyle Guitar for modern consoles? I'm down. Don't bring him into live action because it's just going to be crap. These idiots at Disney Film, they just don't know enough about this property to do it right. We're seeing it. We're seeing firsthand what they're capable of. I'm not saying anything about Jon Favreau because I'd say he's actually pretty knowledgeable about Star Wars. Only has his moments. I just don't trust Filoni with the Old Republic. And I don't think he's even a fan of the Republic anyway. So unless they get somebody that actually knows the Old Republic era and the lore in that timeline, don't bother. Don't bother. Because, like, here's the thing, right? Fans like me will be front and center for anything Old Republic because of how popular it was back in the day. But under the Disney Wars banner, I can't see myself getting that excited about it just because it's probably gonna be crap. Let's be honest, the Kenobi show should have been a Clone Wars flashback for all 6 episodes. They had McGregor, you had Christensen, still look pretty good at their age, and they're massive Star Wars fans, both of them. I thought that was kind of wasted on that dopey Reva character and little 5-year-old Leia. For a show called Kenobi, I was just a little disappointed how little there was about Kenobi. Should have been a lot more flashbacks, a lot less Reva, and a lot less Leia. You know, I don't remember if Luke was even in the damn show for more than like 5 minutes, which is pretty funny. Now, if this is a series, I can get behind it being a series, but they're gonna need to be like on point with the writers and the cast, because if they freak up Revan, he will never live it down. And I mean, Star Wars is pretty much done anyway, so I'm like, it doesn't even matter at this point. Even if Kennedy was let go from her position tomorrow, it wouldn't matter. She's left a steaming pile of shit in her wake, and no one's gonna want to clean it up. It doesn't matter anymore. Let's say this gets greenlit. Let's say this gets greenlit, right? Don't matter. I mean, I don't think people even watching this dopey skeleton crew or whatever. I completely forgot the show exists. I just found it kind of boring. I didn't bother with Andor guy because I didn't give two shits about the character. It's just boring. And they failed with Acolyte, which was also set in this High Republic, whatever. And we couldn't even do that. We couldn't even make a Star Wars show set in an original era, and there's no way they're going to be able to do it with the Old Republic, which is an established timeline that fans like me absolutely adore. Right? And I'm sorry, I don't trust Lucasfilm to do it. I don't. I don't trust. I don't trust Filoni. I don't trust Kennedy. And this was Favreau doing this, okay, because he did a pretty good job with Mandalorian, at least in the beginning. If we get someone who actually studies the old World Republic or the expanded universe and actually adapts the stories from the EU instead of doing like their own thing. Like, oh my God, Ray is the future of the franchise. Like, no, she's not. You crazy? No one gives a flying frick about Ray. Little Miss Perfect. Ugh. Like when they say stuff like that, it just doesn't give me much hope for this franchise. I mean, the franchise is pretty much done. So I'm like, this is why I'm always glad that I'm always going to have the expanding universe to fall back on. The bookcase is full of books from the expanding universe, all of them. I haven't really read anything from the Disney Wars era because it's crap. The Fallen games are great. Looking forward to the next one. Talk Estes. Probably gonna kill him off because he doesn't exist in the movies. So they're probably gonna kill him off, or he's gonna just disappear, I guess. Hopefully, the next set of games will be set in Old Republic. The games have been fine. Like I never played a bad Star Wars game. I've played all of them since the LucasArts era. Never played a bad one. Maybe the Force Unleashed too, but even that's got good gameplay. So this is why I didn't really understand the hate towards Star Wars Outlaws because I've never played a bad Star Wars. Ever. I can't name one. It's like a lot of the complaints about Outlaws are just so silly to me. Like it's a little glitchy. Oh no. Instead, because that means it's terrible. Please. It has flaws like anything else, like, but it's not as bad as people have been saying. Like you just gotta find something in there that you're looking for. Depending on what you're looking for when you play it. Because if you're just looking for it to be like a KOTOR or like the Force Unleashed, you're gonna disappoint. I just don't want them to ruin another era of Star Wars because at this point they've completely destroyed the original trilogy with their Disney Wars nonsense. That 7, 8, and 9 did nothing but destroy what becomes a fort. And I think George Lucas's plan was originally for 9, but I can promise you whatever he wanted to do would have been 10 times better than the crap that Mickey Mouse pumped out in the last decade. And again, there hasn't been a Star Wars film in what, almost 7 years now. Just let that sink in. The billions of dollars that they spent to get this property, and they've completely run it into the ground in less than 10 years. It really started with 7 because as soon as with that stupid Death Star thing showed up again, I just rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, we're doing this again. And it was stupid in Return of the Jedi to have on Death Star. With the same weakness too. Didn't even take a single X-wing to take it out. This time had a shield generator on a teddy bear planet. But to do it again, like 15 years later, it's like straight up retarded. I'm like, you serious, Mickey Mouse? So like deep down, I knew that they can't even do a freaking Star Wars film without a freaking Death Star. What kind of horror are they gonna perform if they get their hands on a boat? And that scares the crap out of me.